Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews. And as mentioned before in my previous video with the 7 deadly sins, I've got a short window of time because I am looking after my ill other half, and this is the only time I can really cram this in, so this will feel a little bit rushed. Do apologise in advance. So without further ado, let's get into this review. So before getting into the review, there's 3 parts of this review that we'll be talking about: the Zera Gajil section, the whole Natsu section, and then the actual Makarov section. So 3 parts. I'll start off with the Gajil Zera section. So Gajil meets Zera. Zera introduces herself. She says, "Hi, I'm Zera. I'm one of the original fairies." Now this is a bit because when you watch Fairy Tail Zero, for those who actually read the chapters, basically she dies before the beginning of the whole of the Zero fairy tale. So all of the guild building with Mavis, Pyohito, Makarov's father, Warad, is basically happens after she's died. She's basically imagined the whole time. So Mavis thinks she's alive but she's not. So that's an interesting to bear in mind. Zera's quite shy and Gajil's like, "Come on, look, we don't really have time for this. Who the hell are you? How can I help?" So basically she explains that she's been brought back to life because of coincidental kind of happening with Mavis. So I'm assuming, you know how before she thought she was alive with her imagination, because she's a lot more powerful now, that's brought her back into existence. And what's probably going to happen is when she realizes again that she's dead, she'll basically go, all before getting saved, I'm assuming. Anyway, so she mentions that Mavis's power has increased and that she's a friend and she's looking to basically help out. So that's Zera's part of it. Gajil's basically wondering, am I alive? Am I in hell? What's going on? So Gajil is actually alive, which is funny because he starts to think about the last thing he said to Levi, which, as you can imagine, he didn't think he was going to live, so he opened up his heart, and as you know, what happens. So the explanation we get is the fact that there was that magic used by Eileen, that coincidentally this happened at the same time as he was getting sucked into hell, I guess. But because the land he's ended up is, which we find out, is actually Tenrojima, that's why he's alive. So it is a coincidental kind of plot point to keep him alive. I know people are like, "Oh my god, this is no surprise, and he's alive, and you whoop-de-daw." Do you know what I mean? People are going to throw all that. But it's fairy tale. There's a reason for it. People of fairy tale do not die when they're connected to Tenrojima. That's just how it is. It's been explained before. So if this is the reason why, this is his explanation, we're going with it. So now Tenrojima is connected to the rest of the mainland. Does this mean the rest of the mainland works now as Tenrojima, or is when you're just quite close to it? Because if the whole thing works as Tenrojima, what's going to happen is Fairy Tail's not going to be able to die. They're going to have to take out Tenrojima, which might happen if the Dark Wizard himself and Akenlogia fight, or maybe Akenlogia destroys it on his way in, possibly. So yeah, that's the Zera part of it. Now, the Gajil part of it. The last thing Zera does is to show she's helping. She sends a message out to all the members of Fairy Tail to bring them together to help Mavis. So the name behind this chapter is Mother and Child. The idea is Mavis is the mother of Fairy Tail, and everybody in Fairy Tail are like her children. So that is the first plot point. Second plot point, the idea of the main crew and Eileen. So the main crew consists of Lucy, Natsu, Grey, Juvia, normally Gajil, but he's separated right now, he's on Tenrojima, and Erza. So there's a bit of dicking around, everyone's kind of doing whatever they've been doing. They finally meet up, brilliant. They've got the bands back together, which is perfect. Now at the same time, because they're in the area of the cathedral and where the king's castle is, Eileen happens to be there. So Eileen is in a similar area. Eileen, who more than likely is, I'll talk about this in later segment, at the end of the segment, but she's obviously got to the castle. She's playing around with the King's Guard, destroyed them, and even plays around with the Jade Princess, turning her into a rat. Basically saying to her father, "Would you really love your child now that I've made her like this? See if you can really love her." And I think the idea behind this is there's probably been some type of betrayal in her life. and I'm assuming that's why she questions the love. But the king basically picks up the rat regardless and says, oh, this is my daughter, I love her regardless, which I thought was cool, and it's a nice sign to see, because sometimes parentage is very superficial, it's about looks and everything else in life. So it's good to see that that wasn't the case in this element. Now what happens is Eileen senses something. So she has this type of attack which kind of reinforces the idea of being a Scarlet Witch, because a lot of the time you've seen a lot of myths and Hamlet and stuff like this, they have an eye that's all seeing, or something they use to see outside or spy or something like that. She uses an attack that opens up a massive eye in the sky, to which everybody else was like, oh my god, what's that eye in the sky? It's huge. So that comes out, and she sees Erza down and she recognizes the hair. She goes, that hair, the scarlet hair, there must be something to it. Now the chapter ends with the title at the end, right? And it normally tells you what the name of the title is going to be. The next title for chapter 492, bearing this is 491, is older sister, younger sister, big sister, younger, smaller sister. So could this be a reference to Eileen being the older sister of Erza, or is this just to throw us off and it's actually talking about Zera and Mavis? We're going to have to wait and see. Let's get onto the third plot point to wrap this up. So, plot point number 3. The members of Fairy Tail that are together start fighting against the big army, and what effectively happens is everyone's doing their thing, jets there, droids there, everyone's, fighting away. Then all of a sudden we get to see members of Eileen's crew attack, and it's those two girls, one that looks like kind of like, oh, I'm a princess type of thing, and then you've got the one that looks like a ninja, right? So the one that looks like a princess, she uses a type of mucus type ability, which is like glue, because Jet is running, and basically he steps on something and he's like stuck and he falls over, and then Droid's there and he gets kicked by somebody as well. Other members of Fairy Tail get tied up. I'm assuming that's the other one because it looks like she's like a ninja, so it's probably a binding technique, so to speak, kind of a crouching tiger, hidden dragon type of deal. And they're talking to each other and they talk about, oh, let's go after Makarov, and the ninja was like, come on, let's leave the main dish to the end, let's deal with the appetizer. Ooh, who's that powerful person? And they see Mira Jane. Now you got to bear in mind, Mira Jane is powerful anyway because she got a demon oversouls, but because she was originally an S-class wizard, she does have a degree of power. Whether she's regained her full control of her power, we don't know. I'm not sure, I can't remember, to be honest, but they're going to go after her next. Then the message comes out from Zera to basically get everybody together. Mavis is in trouble, the mother of the guild's in trouble, go help her. How this is going to play out, we'll have to wait and see. I'm sorry if this chapter is a bit rushed. I did try covering on the main points. We'll have to see what happens. Hope you enjoyed the chapter. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, subscribe. I'll see you later. Peace.